Okay, so let's start things right off. Thanks a lot for joining our today's webinar about the risk matrix for Power BI, in which we will discuss our extensive features and why the risk matrix is so valuable for your use case in your daily risk management reporting as well as your project management reporting. And yeah, today we will discuss the main features, and afterwards we'll already show you a bit how to set the risk matrix up to your basic needs. And what we will discover today are our core features. The first one you will see here, the first one here are our custom colors, which are super valuable to tailor the risk matrix completely to your needs. And the second one is the advanced tooltip. In that way, via the mouse over function, you have the possibility to dive deeper into the risk of your interest. And on the right-hand side, you see our recently developed feature called Risk Progress, in which you have the possibility to track and monitor the development of your risks over time. And you can use the feature as well to differentiate your risk into residual risk and inherent risks. And of course, there are many more features and design settings we offer with our feature, with our visual, and we will discover that today. First of all, something real quick about the meeting rules. Sit back and relax. Feel free to just listen to me. Let me guide you through our visual. But of course, also, if some questions arise, feel free at every time to speak up, interrupt me, use the chat function, or just raise your voice. Yeah. Okay, again, the focus for today, just a short setup, what we as a company do, some quick facts, how we developed our visuals, and then we will directly dive into the guide through of the risk matrix. And later on, we will have some more time to discuss some open questions. Yeah, so I would directly jump in with a short question, and I would like to ask you to scan the QR code here to understand your expectations for today. Yeah, so that I can tailor the guide more to your needs. So I would give you 1 minute to scan the QR code and answer the question. Okay, in that case, I would just assume that you're totally new to our risk matrix and we'll kick things right off from the basis. But before we start into our guide through, let me quickly introduce our team here. And we are LeapLytics, a small company from Germany, and we build visuals for business intelligence tools, especially for Power BI, that we as users were always been looking for. And this is totally our approach. So we come from a risk management and project management background, and we developed tools such as the risk matrix or also other visuals for Power BI that we were lacking of. And we wanted to develop some visuals that make our daily life as risk and project managers much more easier. And this is where we come from. You see all of our team members here, and we are happy to guide you through our visuals and especially the risk matrix for today. All right, without further ado, I would directly jump into the guide now and stop the presentation here and jump to Power BI. And yeah, let me kick things right off with our main features and the extensive features we have already talked about in the beginning. You can see directly here a very colorful matrix, of course, very powerful as well. So what you see here is our custom color features. And you can see here on the right-hand side, our custom color option. If I would cross it out, you will see that it will go back to our default. And in that way, we made it possible for all of our users to design the color of their risk matrix to, for instance, their company colors or any preferences they have. And if I drop the field down here to the custom colors option, you see it directly switches. And for that one, we developed a layout designer, and I will quickly jump towards it so that you can understand what I did here. And this is on our website. You can find the link directly on our website, and we also have a YouTube tutorial on how to do it. And here you can simply click on generate after you have chosen your type of metrics. And here you can then put in the color codes. We also have a color picker here. And in that way, you have the possibility to create your own design. And as you can see here, afterwards, you have the possibility to download it as a CSV file. And if you did that, you can jump back to Power BI and import it via the data pane here on top via CSV. And if it is successfully imported, it will appear here on the right-hand side with the risk map layout. And as you have seen, I can simply drop it into the respective field. Also very powerful in terms of color coding is our conditional formatting feature. Per default, those indicator bubbles here would have simply a plain color. However, I did some conditional formatting here, and you can see that I added another dimension by doing so. So in that way, we have the possibility to directly see what risks belong to which projects, and I have also the possibility here to select a project, for instance, project number 1 here, and you can see that only those risks will be highlighted. Also a very, very powerful feature. Another feature we already discussed about is the advanced tooltip feature, and this is super helpful to get more insights about the specific risks just via mouse over function. So if I select, for instance, this risk here, I created some exemplary tooltip where we see again the risk ID, the impact and the probability, and also some possible risk description. And this can be adapted to your individual preferences and needs and what you want to directly see here. So also very important. Again, for all of our features, we have a step-by-step YouTube guide, so don't worry if you don't get along right away with all the features. We will have a step-by-step guide either on YouTube or on our website as well. For even more deeper insights, we can also create a drill-through report page, and this is what I did here. And if I then select a risk of interest, for instance here risk number 17, and right-click on it, we see that we have here the drill through option. And if I click on it, I will directly jump to a more detailed report page about this specific risk. And for example, I created here a small report page about the scenario analysis. So if some variables may change, how would this affect our risk? And here again, totally up to your individual preferences. You can design a complete report page about a specific risk with your detailed data, and in that way have a really convenient deep dive to get to know your risks a little bit better. And last but not least, our recent feature we developed is our risk progress feature. You have seen the screenshot as well in the introduction. And if I then select a risk by a simple click on it, you see the development, for instance, over time. Or as I said, you could also use it to differentiate your risk into inherent risk or and residual risk as well. All right, I think that's already a great introduction to see what our risk matrix does and why it can be so valuable for your use case and facilitate your daily reporting. But you also may wonder how to set it up. And for that way, I would like to guide you through how to set up a basic risk matrix yourself. So I create a new report page here. And I hope you all know how to download a visual. So you click on Get More Visuals here on the right. And the Microsoft App Source will open up. And here our Microsoft certified feature visual, of course, is also can also be found. Sorry. Yeah, so you see it here. Simply click on it and download it, and afterwards it will appear here on your visualization list, and you can select it. Then, once you've downloaded and selected it, of course you have to add your data to it. And for that way, the first step you have to do is, of course, import your data, and we did that already via the data pane here. So get data, you have plenty of data files you can make use of. We had our data in an Excel workbook, and you can simply import it. And it will appear also here on the right-hand side where also the risk map layout of our color designer will appear. There, the first thing you have to do is you have to choose a risk identifier. In our case, it would be the risk ID field. Simply drag it here. The same goes for the horizontal values and vertical values. So I decide the probability value to display on the horizontal axis and the impact value on the vertical axis. And you can see a simple matrix will be set up. It says we do not have the license here, of course. So either insert your yearly license or also your trial license. So you go to format your visual here on the right, go to license, and here you can simply insert your license. And as you see, now the basic risk matrix is set up. Again, as I've shown you, we have already installed our color layout, so I will drag it here as well. Really nice, already a simple risk matrix to our individual needs and with our company colors. And I would like to show you some of the settings you can make here. So of course, the axis labels here are not super clean. So by clicking here on the drop down and click on rename for this visual, we could also, rename it to probability. And you see that here the value directly changes. And same goes, of course, for the vertical axis. But let me show you how you can now set your individual settings for the Power BI risk matrix. So we go to format your visual here again. And as a first section, we have the grid settings here. And here we have several options. We can extend or lower the size of our matrix. So I could say I would want a vertical size of 7, and you can see it will adapt here. Of course, we have data here for 5-to-5 matrix, so this will not apply really smooth here, but of course you can choose up to a 10-by-10 matrix if you need. And what we can also do here is we can lower the maximum number of risks per tile, because you see that here are plenty of risks displayed. If you don't want it to look like that, you could also say I only want a maximum number of 5 risks per tile displayed, and thus the indicators here will adapt as well. Also, a really nice feature we have is here select by tiles. So this is switched on, and in that way we have the possibility to select a tile here, and the focus will then go directly to this tile and will only display the risks of this tile. And this can of course also be switched off. However, it's really powerful, so I would not recommend it. Again, invert colors is possible here with the one click, also really nice. And some more color and formatting possibilities here. And if we jump to the axis settings, we also have the visibility of the axis, for instance, the ticks, all with one click. Also some text size and font and color settings that we can adapt to our needs here. And if we jump to our horizontal labels, we could also now, per default, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5 in numeric values. We could also manually type in, for instance, the text here, and you can see it will also directly be adapted here. Also important to mention, this is also part of our layout designer, which I showed you up front. And here you can see we will also download the horizontal and vertical labels. And if we then just drag them into our field here as well, it will also directly adapt here. Also really nice. Yes, but the same goes, of course, for the vertical labels as well. Pretty similar. Last but not least, also the indicator settings here can be adapted. So we could choose if there's a border around our indicators, the border width, the text size, also a visibility of a text, some colors, and here also the very powerful feature of conditional formatting, which I showed you with the project ID. This is really valuable to add another dimension to our matrix here. And if I click here on the function symbol, I will be directed to our conditional formatting settings. And here I would select, for instance, to set up our project ID dimension. I would say if the value is, for instance, project number 1, I would want them to be displayed in orange. And this is simply very powerful, very easily implemented, just to add another dimension to make your overview of your risks even more valuable. Last but not least, our recently developed progress feature. If I click now on it, you will not see any progress. This is because we have to add more impact and probability values here. This could be, for instance, impact and probability values from the past to analyze your progress, and we would have to add that here to our fields first, that we can make use of the feature. So I would just do it like that. And now you see we will have the risk progress analyzed here. And for the settings, we have the possibility here to also invert the risk direction. So simply one click and we will have the direction reversed. Also, we can adapt the color here and the line width. Yeah, just try it out. Try all your settings, adapt your risk matrix to your individual needs. And in that way, you will get the most out of our feature and make your risk management and project management much more smoother. I think that would be majorly it from the guide through. So let me jump back to our presentation. And here, just some quick things to close the webinar for today. Again, our team, feel free to reach out to us at any time, ask your questions. We will try to answer all of them and figure out your individual use case. So reach out to us via our website, our LinkedIn, YouTube, or Instagram channels, or also send me a direct email, and I will forward your request to my responsible colleagues here. Yeah, so feel free to reach out to us at any time. Finally, if there are no further questions, I would close it here. Of course, feel free to ask your questions if you have more sort of confidential question. Also, feel free to send us just an email if you do not want to ask here. Otherwise, I would say thank you very much for your attention, for your time. I hope you enjoyed the short webinar, and I hope we will have the possibility to work together in the future.